One of the things that made me a communist was growing up, my mom used to tell me about this evil dictator in China named Mao who killed bajillions of people. And I remember distinctly as a kid searching the internet to try and find out how Mao killed all these people. And I couldn't find anything. Plus, under Mao, life expectancy increased by over 10 years. I was like, what is this? This is the weirdest genocidal dictator ever. So then when I first became a communist, and of course told my wonderful and supportive mother, the first thing she said was, what about Mao? And I was like, I don't know, Mom. I don't think everything we've been told about Mao is true. And she's like, maybe, but I'll give you the book that they gave me about Mao in college. This, Life and Death in Shanghai. The book is a biography of this woman whose family had massive wealth in China due to their position within Shell Oil Company. The family, as well as Shell Oil, supported the US-backed Kuomintang nationalists in the Chinese Civil War. And literally the introduction to this book is about how much wealth this woman's family had compared to everyone surrounding them about 15 years into the revolution. On page 1, an English friend calls her house an oasis of comfort and elegance in the midst of the city's drabness. And in the first paragraph, she talks about her servants. Her servant! She says we could still enjoy good taste while the dirty proletarians take over the city. But don't worry, she says her big house with all the servants is pretty modest. It's not even that big. So right away, it's like the main characters are wealthy oil executives who have servants while the rest of the country lives in relative poverty? So in 1966, Nian Chang was accused of being a British spy. She was placed in a detention house, not a prison, where she claimed she underwent brutal interrogation and torture. Which of course, to the extent that those things happened, horrible, bad, disavow them. I've been on record as saying I don't support the Cultural Revolution in general, which makes a lot of Maoists angry with me. But in 1973, Chang was released for improved behavior. Her story then hits its most legitimately tragic moment when she leaves prison and finds that her daughter is dead and her death has been labeled a suicide. Chang believed that Maoists had killed her daughter for refusing to denounce her mother. But the government launched an investigation and found the person who murdered her, sentencing him to death, then releasing him on parole in 1995. Nian Chang herself went and lived in Washington, D.C. until 2009 when she died at the age of 94. So do you see how this book made me more communist? Not to dismiss the personal tragedies this woman underwent, they were horrible. But this person was living in opulence in a house full of servants in a peasant country where starvation and famine was rampant. Mao massively decreased that starvation by taking the land from people like Chang's family. Plus, I was supposed to find evidence in here for Mao being a murderous dictator. But he didn't kill anyone in this story, even when the woman was accused of being a spy. He just put her in a house, then helped find and arrest the person who killed her daughter. Really, the book just showed me how stories of human rights abuses are used to condemn economic policies that increase standard of living for the masses. Like nationalizing Shell Oil would be authoritarian or something. It's not, let's do it.